Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and start with this gorgeous greenery, which is the eucalyptus here. So we're going to start working that around the perimeter, and you're just going to give it a dip in your glue pot, and you're going to start to place it in and work it around, okay? And I like to go clockwise generally, so you're going to see me work in a clockwise direction, and we're going to start with just the outside. Now you can see how I use that Spanish moss. I use that to just hold it in place, so that it kind of makes a little sandwich in there to kind of hold everybody in, especially if it doesn't go in quite as good. Maybe that area is a little tight with floral, so then you can just take and sandwich it in with a little of the Spanish moss. All right, let's start working around our shape. And in design school, I teach you all about how to think about your placement when you're putting it in, so that you can have good utilization of your pieces. And just like we're doing here today, we want to make sure we're utilizing the placement just right so we can use less materials in the long run. So I'm going to bring a little Spanish moss, put it in there to kind of sandwich, and it covers up the glue. And this green is going to work all on this gorgeous perimeter, all to the outside. So once you pick a direction, just start going, okay? And I've got a single eucalyptus here. So I gotta go find its friend that came. Somewhere it has a friend that was a single friend. We've all got that single friend. You gotta bring them along sometimes. Tell them, come on, get over here. All right, let's keep bringing this around. Have you guys ever played in a different non-traditional color for the seasons? This year we are playing with a little bit of this dramatic red and kind of a pretty deep burgundy and red and black for Halloween. I think it's just so much fun. Another fun color that we've seen come on to rise in all the seasons is pink. Pink's so popular. So it's so fun to see it coming out in all the different seasons, adding that touch of pink and that touch of gold. Just really pops. Okay, we're going to keep working all the way around the perimeter. Let's bring this one in. We're almost there. Just a couple more pieces and we'll have made it all the way around. And you can see how pretty this places out your perimeter on your wreath. Okay, I think I'm going to have to take my supplies off the table now because we're making a big one, y'all. So all of our pre-cut supplies I'm going to pull off, and I'm going to have them just right behind me over here to grab them. And we'll bring them in step by step. Okay, there we go. Now let's bring a couple more here. And you could just spin this around on your own work table, or if you're working on your wreath making stand, just keep twisting it. I find it easier just to do that rather than you are spinning around with it. Make it just spin around for you. Tell you what, I don't usually use the Lazy Susan on a wreath, but you could. I don't see why not. Sometimes you might have to get up and pull this piece up, but then you can use the leverage to hold it in, like a little bit of physics to hold some pressure. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Now you can have this kind of lift way up forward, or you can pull it back. Either way is fine. I'm going to get a little more dimension because I know I have a proven strategy that, like, the more depth and dimension, the more I can charge for a finished wreath when I get ready to sell it. So I'm always keeping that in mind. Let's get ready to add our second layer. So now our second layer is going to be our pretty red berries that are going in there. This is so gorgeous. Look at these. Whoa, this is so fun for Halloween. What we're going to do with these is we're going to start to go in between each piece of greenery, but the thing you got to keep in mind is you want to take and put it a little bit more towards the center. So this stays the longest and this is a little bit shorter as we work our way in, okay? So here we go. We're going to dip them in the glue and we're going to come a little bit more towards the center on all of these. Okay, and we call this shaking hands in design school, and you do want to do that with every pick you get in there and work with. Really, really important, because you're paying for these gorgeous pieces like this. You got to make sure you're not wasting any of them. So I got one in, then I'm going to come right behind it, kind of piggybacking right behind it with the next one. And I want you to cover up any glue that you can see with Spanish moss. Okay, that's detail. We're not amateurs. We're going to practice and get good at what we're doing. So we want to hide our mechanics. All right, so shape this dude up. I like to get this little fir and cedar kind of behind everything if possible and have that behind. Let's come in here. Just keep working our way around. Ooh, how pretty is that? It's laying so pretty in there with the other colors. So you're going to keep doing that until we're ready for our next layer. All right. Let's go around and around and around we go. Keep popping them in. Get those crazy glue strings out of there. You don't want that in there. Nah, we don't like glue strings. We are not going to tolerate them. Pick and curve that. Oh, get a little twist on that grapevine. Get a little twisty. I'm going to come in here. And that one, I have a little white on the stem where it kind of some of the white base was showing off. So I'm just going to kind of work it in and try to cover it a little. Okay, keep rotating. Let's keep going. Keep just shaking hands, putting that pick in, and keep working your way down. And I want this red to kind of stay close to the center of the design. Kind of, so you see it a little bit in the center, but then kind of going out to the perimeter slightly. Just a little. When you layer up the depth and all the different textures, man, guys. Blue Merinos, it's next level. Next level. Your neighbor's going to be knocking on your door because they're going to be wanting some of what the mojo you're creating with. I love it. I have one little piece left, and you know what? I usually hold this off till the end so that I can fill in any holes that we see happening with it, and we can really kind of neat and clean it up. All right, so let's go ahead and grab the skeleton hands. They're next. These are so cool. We've got 6 pieces of these, and we really want to make sure they're really kind of fun and creepy how we're putting them in here. So I have 6 pieces, then I've got 3 per side of the wreath. So once you get kind of a space, you know, you want to start with, you know, you've got 3 on that half and 3 on the other. And even though I glue and put it in because I'm a more experienced designer, you can always, oh my God, how cute is this already? You can always just go ahead and put them in and come back and glue them. I love this. I love this. It's kind of unexpected. I love creepy stuff that's kind of, you know, hidden and you don't see it till you see it. And you're like, oh my goodness, that is fun. All right, there's 1, 2. So number 3 needs to be right here. And there's 2 in each, you know, you're going to have 2 that have a couple of hands and then you'll have 1 that doesn't. So I'm just making sure I put a double, then a single, then a double, so that we got some nice spacing. We gotta have some spacing. Oh my gosh. Look how cute this is coming out. And then I can't wait to play with the hands in a minute. We're gonna get them all like, hello. Okay, here's this one. This is a single hand. I'm gonna put it between the doubles. So think about that. If you break apart some picks, you got to be thinking about, oh my gosh, where am I going to put that one? Otherwise, you would, you know, you'd be a little heavier decorated on one side, a little bit less on the other. All right. This one here. And you know what? I've got 1 more that can go right between those 2 right there. That wispiness of this black, this is coming out better than expected. Holy guacamole. You guys, this is a whole collection we're working on, so that means we're going to have other pieces that coordinate with this. You are not going to want to miss a video. So make sure if you haven't liked and subscribed, you're already doing it. Y'all, please.com is the place for all your floral design needs. Not only do we teach you, but we have supplies. We've got our our video library over there and links to all these amazing things. Hey, but we're not done yet. We're not done yet. There's more. You know what else we've got to do? We've got to come back in with our rose bush. So this is our rose bush. And so what this is going to do is give us a little bit of pop of deep color, and it gives us a little bit of an element that's larger. I'm going to be putting this in, but you know what? If you got some skeleton heads, if you wanted to go more intensely creepy, that would be so cool to pop in some heads, pop in one big head, and then tuck these around. We're trying to keep this subtle creepy, so you don't really realize, oh my gosh, those are skeletons, because we're trying to kind of trick the eye and make this fun little creepy look. So I'm going to put in one cluster of roses here, and make sure you stay with the direction you chose already. And we stay with that direction. We don't try to go the other way. So a little hydrangea, a little rose there. All right, and then let's go in this section right here. We're going to put maybe 2 roses, 1 hydrangea here. Change it up a little. I love the deep red. Let's see if there's a smaller one. This one's a little smaller, so I'll pop a couple of these together. Isn't that fun? Get that little hand, and then we're going to use 1 hydrangea in there too. And you might have to bend that stem to kind of get it around. We want to cluster these in here together. There you go. And let's use 1 more hydrangea with this one. And if a little head comes off, you can just glue it back on. I'll just put that one right back on there, and we'll put this one right here with that cluster. So fun to make different stuff, guys. And don't worry, you don't have to stay in the same old, same old. You can try different things. You can be a trendsetter, especially if your customers are looking for something different and you want to make something different. I know as a designer and creator, I'm always looking for something new and different to create, and so excited when there's new trends, because it makes it just so much more fun when you're making and creating. All right, guys. There she is. She's big, she's beautiful, she's bold. Oh, she's all you ever dreamed of. And she's dying for you to make her. I'll see you next time, Blue Marinos. I can't wait for you to make this with us. We have a pre-made garland base, which is super creepy and fun and cool on its own. And we are going to take this to the next level. We're going to soup this up with all the supplies you see here on the table. And it's on this cool kind of grapevine base that's wired and bendy. So it makes for perfect addition to put things into it. So that is going to be our base. We're going to use a super killer red velvet that looks lush. It's got gold on the back. And if you haven't noticed, we're adding gold in all the seasons as accents. So it's going to be a perfect addition. Then we've got some gorgeous eucalyptus we're going to use. Of course, we can't miss out on more skeleton hands. The garland has a few in it, but that's not enough for us. Then these great deep red, just cabbage looking peonies. They look like a cabbage rose. They've just got this nice tight head. That's going to add the drama. And of course, these right here. These are the moneymaker. These are going to fill in. They've got the grass, the berries, all of that to really pop this design. So we're going to work through this garland step by step. And we'll get started. And by the magic of video, I'm going to prep all these products right now. 1, 2, they're prepped. Everything's ready to go and prepped. I'll send a little mojo over to help yours get prepped that quick. But we've basically broken down each stem into smaller pieces in order to put this swag together faster and easier. So just going to pick one end of the garland and start working on it. I'm just going to have the other end kind of coming off the table. But you're going to use what's called a zigzag technique. So I'm going to start with the eucalyptus. And I cut it down into 2 sections, but if it's easier, you can always just pull these out too, because then the stem will be a little bit thinner, which might make it a little bit easier to put it into our base. So I'm going to start off, and you do want to use them in the clusters of 2. So I'm just going to kind of come in and place these right here. 1 and 2. And this is a technique I also teach in design school. We're going to kind of keep them staggered, where one's a little taller, one's a little shorter. And we're going to use that down this whole design. And you're going to zigzag, okay? So if you do it on the right, you're going to come down and do it on the left. All right? There's 1 and 2. And we do not want them to be the same height. You want one taller, one shorter, okay? That is like imperative. And with a garland, generally I'm going to go one direction. You can take and like have, if you're going to use it over like a door and you want the garland to have a center point, you can do that also. And have a center point at which you can shift direction. All right, let's come in here. And I'm going to go right by the skull. So we're still zigzagging. Zigzagging. Yeah, this is working good to have that little shorter wire. A little bit easier to put right in. All right, let's keep zigzagging. I'm going to let that go off the table a little. And we're almost halfway. So you want to make sure you have enough supplies left, that you don't go too heavy in one section and you don't have enough for the rest. But we'll be happy to send you more supplies. And you guys can grab the supply list for this project always in the description of the video, or ask on the text list. And you can see how much larger we've already made this garland look with just this simple addition of some eucalyptus. And that's kind of just our foundation piece we're putting. We're not even getting to the drama yet. I'm having so much fun creating this different kind of Halloween look. It's truly awesome. I can't wait to get some of, we got some fun stuff ordered coming in that we're going to be able to rock out this look. Not only in our designs, but in our attire, guys. I can't wait for you to see these neat things I got. I'm going to share them with you when they get here. So I'm going to keep working down. We're going to layer all this in, and the eucalyptus is getting in first. I'm going to keep working our way down. Now, garland's a little more time consuming, but I'm working my way down. I'm just continuing to zigzag in and out, in and out. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, let's start from the base here and work our way back down. We're still going to have everything go that direction, but now we're going to start with this beautiful bush here that has all the berries and twigs, okay? And now this is going to go kind of up the middle, slightly zigzag also, okay? So I'm going to take it, put a little glue on it, and we're going to put it right below the stem. Put the first one in. Now make sure you're grabbing some of that wire. Get those skeletons up to the top. Okay, and we're going to put that very first one kind of straight, and then we're going to start to zigzag a little bit more here. So if the greenery and the eucalyptus that way, you're going to go the opposite way, okay? And just put that right under, we want to go under those wires when we put those pieces in. Ooh, that looks good. Layer that hand on top. All right, let's go between these on this side. We're going to now zigzag from the first one we put on, okay? So a little bit of glue, and I'm going to put that underneath those heads and just push it into the base. Good deal. That's really good. Pull those roses that already come on here. They're in a fun orange, red color. Gonna give us more dimension, and I like having that variation of color on there. I think it's a lot of fun. This garland's so fun. It literally has in here black pine. Oh, creepy fun. Okay, now we're gonna zigzag over to the other side. We wanna make sure we're gonna make it all the way to the end. Now, if you want to make a longer garland like this, you wanna go down all your stairs, you wanna get really creepy, make sure you just order in multiples, okay? So the supply list that we have for this is to make 1. But when you want to get good and bold, then you just multiply it by 2 or 3, depending how big of a project you want to do. Look how cute! We're almost to the end. Isn't this quite the difference? I mean, like, wow, what a difference in just a couple of layers. I'm loving this. Beautiful. Bring the berries to the front. Have that fern on the back. That's one of the best things in this pick, is that fern on that back. Creates such a nice little base. All right, I'm gonna put the very last piece in over here. I'm going behind. I still am kind of going behind the skeletons or the rose. Every time I put those in, just make sure you're pushing it hard. Bring, some of the other leaves and things to the front. And I definitely don't want to hide the heads. Okay, let me show you how awesome so far, y'all. It went from basic to gorgeous. It is really cool. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm going to go ahead, we're going to put the hands in next. Okay, the hands are going in next, so let's start. We'll work the same way. We'll just pull this off the table and just work our way back again, okay? So here come our hands. Now, I couldn't decide how long to leave these. I think we might want to cut them a little. Let me see. If we put them in, I think if we cut them down just a little, we might be a little bit happier with our end piece. So I'm going to take and cut them like this on each one, where I get one hand and a couple of twigs. And that would give us twice as many, too. So let me put the first hand coming out from under these heads. Okay, I'm way up here at the bottom. Beautiful. And then we're going to tuck the rose beside it. Okay, so that's our first one. It's kind of going this way, so let's have the next one go the opposite way. And this garland comes with some hands, so you can definitely stack those together. And you know, you could have fun with them like that. Bring those leaves in there. Great. So I'm going to trim this one into 2 pieces. And then you get 2 smaller pieces. This is kind of coming unwrapped. So if that happens, just tear it off and use them individually. All right, let's back it down. How fun. It's a little time consuming, but if you just get into it and enjoy it, you're going to love this process. Especially like right now, we're doing the detail work of putting these little hands in and stacking the little heads, and how are the twigs going in, and we're really kind of paying attention to our placement. That's something I love to teach in design school, where I'm teaching you the mathematical principles behind design that I use to make my pieces look balanced. So one of those today I'm teaching you right now is the zigzag technique. You're zigzagging, you're adding some balance to that. So basically you're going left, you're going right, you're going left, you're going right. We're going to start to work our way down. Don't be afraid to make adjustments like this, like we had to do a little, you know, it was a little bit too long. If I didn't make that really works great for me to just be patient when I get the design here, and you can make adjustments. You can even push this stuff in and then take it out and absolutely redo it. That's fine too. You can glue it. If you're doing it at home and you don't want to make it permanent, it's okay just to push it in and pull it back apart when you get ready to take it down and store it. But I'm always teaching you how to sell in order to make pieces to sell to your customers, so I want it glued in and more of a final product when we create it together. But that's always an option. This is stinking cool. I can't wait to make more pieces in this collection. We are going to be rocking it. I'm going to be sick of seeing skeletons. I think they're so fun, especially when we can get the diva released in them and have a good creepy look going. All right, we're almost to the end, so we're going to put a couple more in here. Come on down, baby. Then when we get to our last step, we're going to be putting the roses. Then we have the bows to come back and do at the end. But you know, if you're not into the bows, you don't want to do the bows, you can leave that option off also. You have the control over how much you want to add to this. Control your budget of how many pieces you want to add in, what level you want to take it to. I love the wispiness that the twigs gave it. I'm going to put one more down here. And the skeleton hands, and of course we've got the little heads that already came in it. So our last and final touch for me is going to be those chunky roses. And let's take and start to cluster these dudes up. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these roses. If I wanted to go between each section, I would need 1, 2, 3, 4. I would need 4 clusters. So 1, 2, I do have 4 big peonies, so that would work for 4 clusters. And then what would I put with the clusters? So we could take and do 2 with buds. All right, so buds and peonies, and then 2 with big chunky buds, and we could make those kind of more towards the middle. And then we could add a little greenery to those 2, and we have this little kind of corally bloom that would look fine in there. It's kind of a beige that could go there, and then we could just make one of these a little thicker. So I'm going to start with the first one right here. It's going to be one of the smaller ones. So what I did right there is I just created my own little clusters, and I know I need 2 clusters to be a little more prominent, more towards the center, okay? And then or you know what, we could just alternate. We could go 1 small one, a big one, small one, a big one. Let's do that, because we didn't really make this centered per se, and we could just I want to make these nice and tight, and I'm gonna put this one above it. We want to fill that go in. So there's that one. Here's what I'm saying between the roses, okay? The other roses that are on there. Okay, let's bring that down now. So this one needs to be a smaller cluster. No, a big cluster. We did a small one, then a big one. So we're going to take and put the glue on. These are sliding into the base easily because they're a nice smaller wire. And make sure you're letting those black leaves be between there, that eucalyptus. 1, 2. Now let's come down here. I'm going to put a smaller one next. And see how these are opposite? That's perfect. Put this one right in here. And I am having to, give these heads a little bit of a curve. And I'm using the length on the stem, but I want that curve to help it go in there. Look at that. Yes. Isn't that awesome? Beautiful. I'm going to make this one shorter. And you're just still going into that grapevine base. And this one we can just pop over here under the hand, maybe by the heads. Isn't that cool how those just are kind of hidden in there, and then here they come? But putting these bigger floral heads really added some pop, because it gave us a couple of different reds in there. We got an orangey red, a red, and we got a little bit different greenery. So we had the texture and the color combo from both of those. Love that action. Look at that. Look at that! Y'all, we're gonna make bows to go on this too to take it to the next level, but you don't have to. You literally don't have to. I want to show you how gorgeous this is, how lush and full, and how fun and creepy is it? Just look for your glue. If you got any bits of glue, grab those out. Make sure your little hands are all popping out. And I think this one turned out amazing. All right, well, if you want to add bows to it, stick in there. We'll be adding some bows also. But I think this is a winner. A winner chicken dinner. All right, y'all. I can't wait to see you to blah, blah, blah. I can't wait to see you make your own. All right. Have fun, Bloomerinos. We're going to make some gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful bows out of this red and gold velvet ribbon. And it is really pretty easy to work with. I like that it's reversible. We're making this for our Halloween Creepy Elegance collection, but you can certainly use this at Christmas too, because it's a beautiful ribbon. It's got this really cool creepy velvet look for Halloween that I want, kind of like that vampire cape type feel. And but for Christmas, of course, this is exactly what Santa would be wearing when he was getting all doweled up. So I'm going to dovetail my first tail, and these are going to be funky bows. So if you've never seen a funky bow, what that is the tails will go up and the tails will go down. So it's super easy to work with. Okay, I'm going to come in here and come to the center and twist and have a tail going up, and then I'm going to start my loops. One loop at 6 inches and twist, and one loop on the right at 6 inches and twist. Okay, very good. And we're going to do the same thing as we come down here, 2 on each side. And I'm going to twist. My right hand goes forward, my left hand goes back. And it's a simple 2 loops here. These are very easy bows. And then I'm going to scrunch it down. So I have a tail up, a tail down. The tails are at 8 inches. And the loops are at 6 for this project, okay? If you don't have an easy bow maker, we do have an affiliate link also in our description here on the post. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow wherever you're watching us, and make sure you watch and do that same thing to your other favorite creators, any content they're making, because it really helps support them and their families, and that way they can keep making this content for you. Now this tail I'm going to make a little shorter, and I'm going to go about 7 right here, and I'm going to twist it, and now my loops are going to be at about 5 twist, and a 1 loop on this side at 5, and I'm going to keep my fun little tail. Okay, so you can see how cute and simple these are. I'm going to dovetail that also. So just dovetail, you just fold it and you cut up to the corner of the fold, and then what you're going to do now is we're going to take it off the bow maker. So I'm going to run my little cable tie right beside the middle post, and I'm going to get some tension. And yes, I use cable ties for my bows. They make you get that center nice and tight. And guess what? That's a huge advantage when you're fluffing out this bow right here. Okay, so you want to make sure you're fluffing each loop out. Oh my gosh, this is giving that cool, it's giving me that cool vibe that I'm looking for. Really beautiful. Now flip that around, add a cable tie underneath, and get this tight. Trim that off, and our last and final step will be come down the middle with a little strip of this ribbon to kind of finish off the center. And what I usually do is, because I want to get a couple of different centers out of one, I'll just go down the middle right here, and then I'm going to take and cut it like this and go right in the middle. All right, just tie a little knot, and then you are good to go. Your bow is done, Bloomerinos. Okay, I can't wait to see what you make. Come and share it with us.